Just got back from something very exciting.
We are talking about something personal, actually.
I have had some pretty gnarly OCD since I was a little kid. I was in hell. What up? Sarah, come on. Where are you? Ah, dang. Here we go. What's it like down here?
The whole different weather climate.
Different weather. Do you guys even know what our heights are? I don't think anyone knows.
I'm not that short. I'm really
Sarah's
average.
4'2", and I'm 6'9".
Yeah, it's a good one. I am above average by 1 inch.
What's average?
5'4" is average.
5'4".
And I am 5'5".
I'm not even gonna say what I am.
Derek's
No,
6'2".
I was gonna have them guess, but oh well. Okay.
Now he's 6'2".
Welcome back, you guys. Welcome to the
Welcome
channel.
back.
If you haven't already, click that subscribe button, click the notify button, and
So
give
we
this
can
a thumbs
see you all
up.
the time.
We love seeing you. Even though we can't see you, we know you're here. So, we just got back from something very exciting. We're not gonna tell you what just yet, but something exciting is in the works. We'll let you know soon. But it's exciting. Jack's currently sleeping.
Always. In our videos, because it's our only time we can actually film.
It's just hard to keep up with him. He's constantly on the move, and you know, usually we're trying to talk about something.
On today's agenda, we are talking about something pretty personal, actually.
It's actually been something that
Hold on. I forgot that my makeup came off. Hold on.
you guys.
No.
So we were just over at Tanner and Lauren's house, and Sarah and Lauren decided it would be really funny to come out and prank Tanner and I with lip fillers, but I guess their lip fillers didn't work. So Sarah had the grand idea to just do a lot of makeup just like on the outside of their lips, and they had us like close our eyes and then come out, and then we were all looking into the camera, and then they surprised us with it, and I died. It was so bad, but I thought halfway through it that they were like actually trying to like do good makeup, and so then I started to feel really bad, and then I realized that it was all a joke.
Better now.
Better now? Okay. You've been here for a long time. We did a video several months ago about how I fell off of a cliff when I was 15.
A cliff, a large cliff, a 30-foot cliff.
A 30-foot cliff. So it was a pretty life-threatening experience. I was supposed to die from it, if not be brain damaged or paralyzed from the neck down. It was a miracle and completely reshaped my entire life. If you've seen those videos in the past, I've talked a little bit about what I've struggled with, that being anxiety and OCD. So we're gonna talk more about that. But before we do that, today's video is conveniently sponsored by BetterHelp. Not BetterHelp, BetterHelp. BetterHelp's mission is to make online therapy way more convenient and accessible. Just therapy in general. I mean, I think the stigma around therapy is that you have to go and sit with someone and listen to them in kind of an uncomfortable setting, but with
Or that you have to have something really wrong with you. I feel like every single person, my opinion, is every single person could benefit from therapy.
Totally. I'll talk more about this,
great.
but I've actually had in-person therapy in the past. Awesome. It was amazing. Do I wish that I could have done it more accessibly? And
now you can.
Is accessibly a word? I don't even know if that's a word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do I wish I could do it that way and just be in the comfort of my home and not have to like go there each time and make it a big ordeal? Yeah, I definitely wish that was more of a thing when I was doing it.
Yeah.
But luckily I could start back up and do it with BetterHelp. Slowly moving over here because I think Jack can hear us. So the coolest thing about this, you guys, is that all of their therapists are professionally trained, licensed, accredited psychologists, marriage and family counselors.
They got everything.
They've got everything. Clinical social workers.
And they will match you with the perfect person for you.
And you can actually start talking to that person within 48 hours. You can message them anytime you want. They're gonna help you. That's their mission. They really wanna make you happier. So if there's something in your life that's preventing you from feeling happy or complete or
you don't gotta leave your house.
I'm really looking forward to it.
So this is us telling you that it's freaking awesome.
It's freaking awesome.
We have a discount for subscription. Click the link in our bio, 10% off.
And the link is here as well.
And here. Check it out. BetterHelp.
BetterHelp. We are now out in our car once again.
This is car talks.
This is car talks. It's cool outside, a little rainy day in Hawaii. You know what's funny is that a lot of people actually don't know that we live in Hawaii. Like, we'll run into people. That's because we always run into people in a different state. No, but even running into people here in Hawaii, they're like, wait, what are you guys doing here, visiting? They're like, no, we live here. They're like, wait, what? You live in Hawaii? Anyways, you guys, sorry. So, like I said, this has been something I've wanted to talk about for a really long time, and I've kind of just put it off like, oh, it'll be better to talk about it later down the road, but I just want to talk about it now. I think there are a lot of people out there who could benefit from maybe hearing it. I feel like I've been through some pretty hellish points in my life with it, and I just want to be more open about it because there are a few things that I've kind of been closed about here on social media, and this is one of them. Basically, starting from the beginning, I have had some pretty gnarly OCD since I was a little kid, and we didn't know about it. We thought it was really funny. I would do the things that you would think of an OCD person doing. I'd switch on the light switch. I'd have to do it 11 times because that was my special number, and if I didn't do that, it was like bad luck. I'd go to every single car window I would pass and would fix my hair. He still does that. And you've probably seen me in videos, like legit, I still does that. I still do it, and to this day, obviously it's a lot better now, but I'd take my clothes off at night and I wouldn't fold them, but I'd have to place them in a certain way on the ground. I bet your mom wished it was a folding. Yeah, it wasn't like... You just moved the piles around. No, I moved it. There were a lot of little things like that. In the middle of the night, I'd have to wake up and like yell. And I don't know why, but I just had to like yell something, then I could relax. And so my parents kind of just thought, oh, okay, Derek's making this weird noise again, he's yelling. I went through elementary school, I went through junior high, I went through high school. Sirens, it's getting serious. I just didn't want it to like affect my life. I wanted to be successful and play sports, and I thought that if I was taking a medication for something, that it would kind of just like set me back. And so, yeah, through high school, my parents started to finally realize like, okay, something's going on. You've got some anxiety, you're doing some weird things. Never did anything for it. And then, if you guys didn't know this, we are religious. We both grew up in the Mormon church, now, you know, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Both grew up in that culture. We loved it. It's been awesome. Growing up in that religion, one of the things that you do when you turn of age, and for me it was when I turned 18, you can decide to go out and serve what you call a mission. It's typically for 2 years, but within 6 months of going out, I was in hell. The experience itself was really awesome, and what I was doing was amazing. We were definitely helping change people's lives. We were doing a lot of service work. But what was going on in my head was absolutely hellish, miserable. My OCD kind of turned from actions to more of thoughts. I didn't know why. I thought, freak, maybe I'm like possessed. Maybe I am just a terrible person. And so I'm constantly feeling guilt and shame for having a terrible thought. You can kind of imagine what these types of thoughts are. I'm not going to go into all the detail about that, but they're just intrusive thoughts that I didn't want in my life. And I thought that they were me having these thoughts. Along with that, because of the cliff accident that we talked about a little bit earlier, and this OCD and anxiety, my head kind of just exploded, and I couldn't function anymore. I couldn't process. I couldn't even realize like that I was in Central America, in Honduras. Like, it all felt like this weird, awful nightmare. And so finally, the president of our mission, the guy in charge, said, you know what, you should probably go home and get some help. You know, you might have like a tumor. You might have some tropical disease. Let's go figure that out. I felt like a failure after doing that. And in our culture, it kind of feels that way. It's like you didn't serve your 2-year mission. You didn't stick it out. But, or people like assume that you've done something bad, or like, yeah, like unhonorable. That you had to come home early, or like. I was afraid just going home in general for that. And the sucky part is that I didn't know what the freak was wrong with me. I'm like, okay, I have to have like a worm. Did I drink something? Why am I feeling so foggy and confused? Can't look at someone without feeling like I'm gonna like do something harmful or like I thought I was going to be harmful to myself. I got home and I was so in the low that, you know, suicidal thoughts started to creep in, and I'm like, this is not me. I don't have these types of thoughts. I am solid. I've always been solid. It all kind of just came down at once, and I didn't know how to fix it. I'd go to a psychiatrist, I'd go to a tropical disease doctor, I'd go to a brain doctor, I went to a brain camp. I'm taking all sorts of medications, ones that are literally keeping me from staying awake at my job that I got when I came back. I was doing some construction work and I would fall asleep because I was on such heavy medication. That's kind of all how it went down. March of 2015 is when I came home. August is when I met Sarah. A little bit before meeting Sarah, I had gone to therapy, and it was amazing. That was the best thing that I had done, just because it taught me some ways to kind of acknowledge the fact that these thoughts that were coming in and these OCD tendencies weren't actually mine. Something wasn't wired right in my brain, and I had to be able to realize that this was a deceptive brain message, that it wasn't mine. And so I was able to like realize that and kind of just let them come in and go, and I learned some practices that were really good. I would literally get a bad thought and wave at it and say like, hey again, like you're back, see ya, and then I would come back again and I would do the same thing and not let it like make me start sweating and flexing and tensing up. So that was really helpful. But then, lo and behold, hello, Sarah. I mean, Sarah. And Sarah's tiredness just made me feel really tired too, and I didn't have any anxiety.
Believe it or not, I have much more energy back then than I do.
We did so many fun things together. I'm not gonna go into our whole details about how we met and everything like that. Those are in other videos if you wanna go watch that. It's really interesting.
Really interesting.
But it was kind of the light in the darkness, and she pulled me out of the pits. Like, I was thinking I was just going down and I wasn't gonna do anything in life. I was feeling pretty miserable. And for whatever reason, I started to feel so attracted, not for whatever reason, obviously I was so uninterested in girls. I was so uninterested in dating. I didn't want anything to do with any girls at this point in my life. It was the best thing I could have ever done to stay home and meet Sarah. And she pulled me out of that funk, and all of a sudden I'm like way into Sarah, and I'm like, what just happened? I thought I wasn't gonna like any girls. And I can't stop thinking about her, can't stop wanting to text her. We start hanging out and doing all sorts of stuff. And one thing led to another. I literally am telling Sarah that I love her within 3 freaking weeks of knowing her.
2.5. We were not even.
I don't even know. It kind of took my thoughts away from all of this anxiety and OCD and depression that I was feeling in my life. And I'm just kind of focused on Sarah and wanting to be with her, wanting to hang out with her, make out with her. Literally just, it was exactly what I needed. And it's crazy because she had a boyfriend doing the same thing that I was doing. She wasn't looking to get into a relationship, and so it definitely was God dealt.
Meant to be.
It's meant to be.
So we got married in 2016 in June. Derek seemed like he actually didn't really seem fine. Like he was on some medication that was way too high of a dose, and at the time we didn't know, so he was kind of like a zombie, like nothing, no like really change, just kind of dead, like lifeless, I would say. When I first met Derek, he was just really shy to me. Like I just thought like, oh, he's super shy and like I have to like pull a lot out of him and everything, but really like I think it was just your medication that was like,
I was pretty freaking shy too.
He was shy and
I was definitely scared.
Like our first year of marriage was kind of hard, just trying to figure out, like, navigate through this. And
well, and that was one thing too, is like when we talked about getting married, like we talked about this. We're like, all right, is this something that's going to be difficult to work with? What about like 10 years down the road? And we both just decided like this is something that we can work through, and I'm gonna get better. I have the tools in place. It just needs time. It just needed time. It
started getting pretty bad, so we decided that we would put Derek into a brain camp, which was super cool. It was in Provo,
in Utah.
It was like intensive brain training almost.
Yeah, like totally reconstructing your brain.
So he would, oh, it's raining on my leg. It's raining.
It's raining. Window's going up.
They did MRIs on his brain. They showed like all the activity. They showed his results after going to the brain camp, and they were really awesome.
And the thing with this camp too is like, obviously I was going there because of concussions in the past, but also like reconstructing and healing your brain will also help with anxiety. And so they're taking more of this holistic approach, because I had seen all sorts of medical doctors who were just giving me medicine.
Yeah, and we decided the medicine was, he needs medicine, but it also, like, at the time that was like not helping.
It wasn't.
It was hurting way more than it was helping, especially like as far as our relationship goes. I would say it was not very good.
And even like sex drive and things like that were bad. I mean, that's a side effect of those type of medications if you're on the wrong one. And so,
but for a while, Derek decided to go off of his medication. Why did we decide to do that?
Go off of it?
Yeah. Did you just run out and then you were like, I don't need
actually
it,
with the camp, they told me to go off of it.
Oh, okay.
So the camp was like, we don't want you on anything while you're here. We're gonna completely repattern like your brain, and this is stuff that you can do through the rest of your life. But we're gonna just pound it on you in this 1 week.
Yeah, and after that, did not take medication for
like 2.5 years.
Was it that long?
Or maybe it was like a year and a half.
I think it was like a year and a half. And then Derek came to me one day, and it was just like a little too much for him. And he said, I really think I need to go like see a doctor and get this under control again. And so I was like, okay. Yeah, and for me it was honestly a little scary, because I was like, you've been doing so good without your medication. For me, I just knew what he was like on the other medication that he had, even though it wasn't the right kind.
Rolling down the windows.
For me, like, the only experience I had with him on medication was like negative. So I was kind of like, okay, like, are you sure? Like, you sure you need that? Like, because I don't fully, at the time, I didn't understand that, like, people need medication.
So I'd kind of gone from, like, depressant to, like, a stimulant type of medicine. I'm like, it almost felt like I was never my true self. I was trying so hard to be, and Sarah knew who I was because we've had a lot of really good moments. I didn't know how to communicate this stuff to Sarah either, because we're freaking newlyweds, and everything is supposed to be right in our heads. And we're supposed to know how to communicate, and sex life is supposed to be perfect, and all of this stuff. And I thought that I was ruining it because I didn't know how to communicate, hey, like, I can't control my brain right now. But I wasn't giving Sarah the attention she deserved, and it was hard. This is something that I was still learning. She didn't really grow up around, and it was new to everyone. And we didn't really have like these outside influences that were like telling us how to deal with this. And so it was really just me and her being like, okay, who should I go see next?
Yeah.
And I can't imagine the mental toll it was taking on her too.
I was just scared that he was gonna get another doctor that was gonna put him on some heavy dose, just like get him out of his office, you know, like put him on something that that wasn't helping. And
just to like kind of like give a very short story of all of this, like, we had a lot to work through in our first year of marriage. It was awesome, but it was also really hard. And then the second year got a little better, still really hard. Finally, it was actually after that brain camp, I feel like things started to get quite a bit better. We moved out to Hawaii, kind of reset things. We're figuring out how to communicate better. Sarah knows that I am dealing with this anxiety and this OCD, but both of us have learned that it's totally manageable. It may not be fully curable, but it's fully manageable for the rest of your life, and you can live a normal life. And for us, that kind of became like the goal. Like, I think when I was going through school though, it got hard. I went back to the doctor and got on what's it called, Zoloft.
Well, that was when you were on at the very beginning.
Yeah,
so I was a zombie.
Yes, I just went and got a lower dose.
You went and got the lower dose.
I got a lower dose of it, and it helped, but it wasn't really helping with OCD. So it's kind of like suppressing my anxiety a lot, and I was feeling better. I wasn't getting all anxious with school and just the fears of becoming a dad. Like, so that's when I got back on it. I was really scared about becoming a dad, and I didn't know how all of this was going to be handled when I have a newborn and I have to take care of him. I got to help Sarah. I got to take care of myself. I got to graduate from school, find a job. My anxiety went all-time high, and I was losing it. The medication just wasn't helping, and so I switched. A little bit after having Jack, I talked to another counselor who made things really, really simple for me and said, like, you know what? Start focusing on your diet. Start focusing on your exercise, your sleep, and try out Prozac. And so I took this medication. It's called Prozac, and it has been awesome. The reason I'm talking about all of this is it took 5 years to figure out, like, And there's still gonna be so much more to figure out for sure, but it took 5 years to figure out like a good formula for me. Just wanted to like open up about this, and if any of you guys out there are feeling like these same types of things, these thoughts, these feelings, it's totally something that you can fix. And I feel more happy in my life right now than I ever have. Finally, for the first time, I feel like Sarah and I are able to communicate.
But also it's really helpful because I feel like this medication hasn't altered, like, I feel like this is Derek. Like, this is real Derek. Like, he has his energy. He's like, this is him. Talking with doctors, obviously OCD, anxiety, it's chronic. It's gonna stick around, but it can be something so suppressed that you don't even have to deal with anymore. And I feel like I'm getting to that point in my life. And I'm just like really, really grateful. Honestly, the best thing for me, believe it or not, has been Sarah and Jack. That's sweet.
And I think that just the experiences Sarah and I had to go through were life-changing. I'm not kidding. Like, it seems so cliche when people are like, my wife saved me. My wife was my savior.
Aww.
But legitimately, like, I would be on the opposite end of the spectrum of life right now if I didn't meet Sarah. Like, I was going the wrong way, and I was scared, and things worked out, and it just makes me that much more excited for the future because I've seen how far we've been able to come in 5 years. So it makes me really excited to see where we are in 20 and 50, and then we'll die.
And then we'll die as a tear runs down my face.
But
I love you. Help. Feelings are hard for me. Expressing
she's
my
a rock.
feelings are hard.
She's very emotional, but doesn't. You mostly just show it. You don't talk about it. This has been awesome for us to be able to make these types of videos and get such positive feedback and reactions from you guys. If you guys have questions or anything, I'm gonna try to get to as many comments as I can, and I really want to help you guys out with this. I feel like this is something that I can help with, and I want to be more useful with this because it's something that I had to go through, and I don't want to just put it away. I want to obviously not feel it, but I want to help others who are going through it. Thank you for being here. Thanks for supporting us and our family. We could not be here without you guys, and we love you all. If you haven't, again, don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of our future videos, and give this a like if you thought it was good or helpful.
Like.
Or you just want to be nice. We're gonna go get Jack. He slept through the whole thing.
Woo, that's rare. Ah.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.